Okay, starting on a tangent already. Look at the view from this hotel room. First to fourth down there, and if you just pan over here, I don't know if you can just make out Fourth Bridges over there. Anyway, welcome to this first sort of vlog style video. Now, I've long wondered what actually is the fastest way to travel from Scotland down to London. Is it the train or is it the plane? Well, today I'm going to be finding out just that, as I'll be travelling down to London with LNER this morning and then flying back with British Airways this evening. Now, to make it fair, instead of timing the speed from station to station and airport to airport, because the plane does like 500 miles an hour and will obviously win, I'm going to be timing it from two locations in the city that are completely non-transport related. So I'll be starting at Edinburgh Castle, and then I'll be ending the video just outside the Houses of Parliament in London. And yeah, the only rule I've really implemented for this is I can only use public transport to get to and from the station and the airport. Anyway, I'm just going to finish a cup of coffee. It's about 6:30 in the morning, hence the bit of a state. And yeah, and we'll get the video started. My God, Edinburgh is a beautiful place, but not exactly built for those who aren't in shape. Very steep, very hilly. Alright, after my heart attack, walking up the hill. Wasn't prepared for that at this time of the morning. It is just before 7 o'clock. Let's start the timer and walk to Edinburgh Waverley, and more to the point, go to London. Now, Edinburgh Waverley is only just over 5 minutes walking distance from the castle, so there's no need to really take any public transport between the two. As seems to often be the case at the moment, there is the obligatory and convoluted one-way system you have to follow to enter the station, which of course meant using the furthest entrance from the castle. Once on the concourse, you'll find a few shops and restaurants for you to use while you wait for your train. Whilst we're here, we wouldn't be doing the station justice if we didn't come take a quick look at the beautiful booking hall. Just like the rest of the station, this dates back to the 1860s. And here's our ride down to London today in the form of this rather snazzy looking Class 801 Azuma train. These units entered service with LNER in 2019 to replace the old locomotive-hauled trains that previously operated on this route. As we board the train, we pass the buffet counter, which has drinks and snacks available for purchase. Alternatively, LNER now allow you to order items from the comfort of your seat, but more on that in a bit. For today's journey down to London, we'll be travelling in standard class, which features these bright red seats laid out in a 2+2 configuration. My advance purchase ticket for today's trip cost me £33.95, including the 1/3 discount I get for travelling with a rail card. Whether you agree with it or not, it is currently mandatory to reserve a seat on all LNER services. However, they do allow you to select exactly what seat you sit in at no extra charge, and I've taken advantage of this by reserving seat B66, which I know from past experience to be a well-aligned window seat, unlike some others where you'll just be spending 4 hours staring at a bit of wall. You'll find plenty of space for storing luggage in the vestibules and at the end of the saloon, with the only limit on baggage being what you can carry. As you can see, the seats are nice and spacious, featuring plenty of legroom. You'll also find all the usual suspects, such as a large sturdy tray table and a plug socket per seat. I've heard a lot of mixed opinions regarding these seats. Personally, I think they offer a reasonable level of comfort. We depart Edinburgh Waverley bang on time at 7:30 AM. The journey to London is scheduled to take 4 hours and 31 minutes, travelling at speeds of up to 125 miles an hour. That's 201 kilometres an hour.
We do have catering on board today, and there will be a further catering announcement once the crew are set up and ready.
Now that we're speeding south away from Edinburgh, I think it's time for a spot of breakfast. To order on your phone, simply scan the QR code on the back of the seat in front of you, which will bring up the menu to allow you to choose what you want. Unfortunately, this service wasn't being offered when I ordered breakfast, so I had to go to the buffet car. I did inquire as to why it wasn't working, and was told it was because one of the hosts had to go and help out in first class, but that it'd be activated when they got back. And sure enough, it worked perfectly fine when I tried again later. I opted for a bacon roll and a cup of coffee, which cost £5 in total. And I said it was, just about edible. After breakfast, it's time to enjoy the beautiful coastal scenery as we cruise south towards Berwick. You sure as heck wouldn't get these views at 30 or 40,000 feet. Approximately 40 minutes after departing Edinburgh, we arrive at our first calling point, Berwick upon Tweed, which is just south of the Anglo-Scottish border.
Don't have one. As I'm making my way through, please do stop me and I will instruct you on how we can get that rectified. Please do wait. Please do mind the gap between the train and the platform edge, and please do make sure you have all your belongings with you. Newcastle in a couple of minutes time. Thank you.
Immediately after departing Newcastle, we crossed the Tyne on the King Edward VII Bridge, which was designed by Charles A. Harrison and opened in 1906. About 10 minutes after crossing the Tyne, we passed the 900-year-old Durham Cathedral, which is arguably the architectural highlight of the route. For those of you wondering, this train is Wi-Fi enabled and it is free to use. While the download speeds are nothing special, it is certainly more than usable. All of this wonderful and interesting scenery had allowed me to forget that we are essentially partaking in a race here. Just over 2.5 hours since I was stood outside Edinburgh Castle and we're already about halfway to London. Before too long, we arrive at York, our final stop before London. Other than this beautiful station, York is of course known for being home of the National Railway Museum, which is situated just a short walk away. From York, we run non-stop to London, allowing us to cover the remaining 189 miles in just under 2 hours. After our sprint down from York, we find ourselves fast approaching King's Cross as we pass Arsenal's Emirates Stadium.
We will shortly be arriving at London King's Cross, where we finish our journey today.
We pull into King's Cross a few minutes late at approximately 12:05.
If you enjoyed your journey or have any comments, please let us know. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, or visit our...
Okay, that was a rather pleasant journey down from Edinburgh. Let's go get the tube across to Westminster. To figure out how I'd get to our finish point, I simply put the Houses of Parliament into Google Maps and selected the quickest route via public transport. This would involve me taking a Victoria Line train southbound to Green Park, where I'd then change for a Jubilee Line train to Westminster. The one-way Zone 1 to Zone 1 fare for this journey costs £2.40. You pay for this by simply tapping a contactless bank or Oyster card on the white readers to enter and exit.
Exit here for the British Library. This, please stand clear until closing doors. Jubilee and Piccadilly lines. Exit for Buckingham Palace. This station has step-free access.
Just one more stop.
This station is Green Park. Change here for the Piccadilly and this train terminates at Stratford. Exit for Westminster Abbey and Houses of Parliament.
Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament are located just across the road from Westminster Tube Station. Okay. I'm going to call this it. Oh, it was a bit of a dash across London. I'll go find somewhere quiet to sit and we'll see how long it took. Okay, so it was roughly about halfway across Westminster Bridge there. I stopped the timer just short of halfway towards the House of Parliament there, and that'll be where we start for the timer for the plane going back up to Edinburgh. But I have got the time here, and to the nearest whole second, and I don't know how well you can see that, it's coming up well on screen. It was 5 hours, 24 minutes and 11 seconds. So that is the time for the plane to be back up to Edinburgh this evening. Got a few hours here in London now, so I'm going to do what any sane person would do and Go to the pub while I wait for my flight home. Okay, so I'm back at roughly the same point on Westminster Bridge after being to the pub. Had a nice lunch. Take one last look at the Houses of Parliament, Palace of Westminster. Say your goodbyes to Boris. Time to go back to Edinburgh. So got the timer up again. 3, 2, 1. Let's go to Edinburgh. In order to catch my flight back up to Edinburgh this evening, I would now need to make my way to Heathrow Terminal 5. Once again, using Google Maps to find the fastest route, I deduced that I'd need to catch the tube to Paddington, where I'd then take the Heathrow Express to the airport. The journey from Westminster to Paddington would once again cost £2.40 and would involve me taking a Jubilee line train westbound to Baker Street before changing for a northbound Bakerloo line train to Paddington.
Change for the Bakerloo, Hammersmith City, Circle and Metropolitan lines.
Of course, I couldn't take a Bakerloo line train without giving a quick mention to the rather quaint and bouncy 1972 stop that still operates on this line. At nearly 50 years old, these are the oldest trains still in service on the London Underground, and believe it or not, they're actually still going to be in service for another 10 years or so yet.
Circle, Hammersmith City, Jubilee and Metropolitan lines.
The exit from the Underground station brings you out on Paddington's spectacular concourse. The station originally opened in 1852 and is one of Brunel's works. To purchase Heathrow Express tickets, simply head to one of the many ticket machines located throughout the concourse.
Let's see if the old Royal card gives us a bit of a discount. This is a discount on the standard class, not first class.
Having parted with my life savings, I headed through the gate line to await the arrival of the train to Heathrow. Heathrow Express services run from Paddington every 15 minutes, so we shouldn't have long to wait. And sure enough, barely a minute after I passed through the gate line, the Class 387 Electrostar that would take me on the 21-minute journey to Terminal 5 arrived. As we board, here's a quick look at the Business First section. Business First tickets cost £32 regardless of whether or not you have a rail card. As it's only a short journey, I wouldn't bother parting with the extra cash. In fact, if it wasn't for the fact I was in a race, I would have taken either a TfL rail service or the tube to get to the airport, both of which are much cheaper, albeit quite a bit slower. As you'd expect from an airport express train, there's an abundance of space for storing luggage on racks located throughout the train. Unfortunately, the seats these trains are equipped with are essentially just spruced up ironing board seats, and, as such, aren't particularly comfortable. It's not exactly great from the company that describes itself as the UK's #1 train operator, but hey ho, at least it's only a short journey. After just over 20 minutes, I arrive at Heathrow Terminal 5. I have arrived at the airport approximately 90 minutes before my 5:20 flight, which, when I put a poll out on Twitter, is roughly how early people suggested I should arrive. The terminal itself is just a short walk away from the station. Upstairs, you'll find an abundance of British Airways check-in and bag drop counters. However, as I checked in online and only booked a base fare economy class ticket, which doesn't include any checked baggage, I can head straight through security to departures. Security only took about 5 minutes to clear, giving us a bit of time to wait before boarding commences. As my ticket doesn't include lounge access, and I don't really want to spend my time waiting browsing the array of overpriced shops, I go and find a nice quiet place to sit. This was easier to find than I had thought. It was so strange to see Heathrow so devoid of people. Before too long, it was time to make my way to gate A9 in preparation for boarding. The short flight up to Edinburgh will be operated by this Airbus A320neo. This particular aircraft joined the British Airways fleet in October 2018, making it about 2.5 years old at the time of recording. As I have found to often be the case since the start of the pandemic, the aircraft was boarded rear to front. At the front of the plane, there is a small Club Europe or business class section, which basically just features spruced up economy class seats with the middle ones blocked out. The Euro Traveller or economy class cabin where I'll be travelling occupies the bulk of the plane and is laid out in a 3+3 configuration. My base fare ticket for this afternoon's flight costed me £52.56 plus another £6 to select my seat, giving a grand total of £58.52. I think it goes without saying that these seats are nowhere near as spacious as the ones found on the train. That said, they're still pretty comfortable and come equipped with broadly the same features as you'd find on LNER's Azumas. We soon find ourselves pushing back from the stand on time and beginning our taxi out to runway 27 right. After a rather short takeoff roll, we find ourselves soaring into the skies over Heathrow. Flight time today will be exactly 1 hour, cruising at 32,000 feet.
I'd like to have my personal welcome to you all and welcome back our Executive Club members and our One World frequent flyers. Once again, I'd like to take this opportunity to share some important information.
Once up in the cruise, the crew conduct a quick snack service consisting of crisps and a bottle of water. While hardly anything to write home about, I was pleasantly surprised to find that this came at no extra charge, which was certainly appreciated. For those of you wondering, this aircraft is Wi-Fi enabled, although I couldn't get it to work. In seemingly no time at all, we find ourselves already commencing our descent into Edinburgh.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain's now switched on the fasten seatbelt sign as we'll shortly be landing at Edinburgh. Please now return to your seats to make sure that all your personal belongings are safe from the spray in the overhead lockers or under the seat in front of you. Customers sitting in the front row seats.
We pull on to stand in Edinburgh bang on time. The airport features interchange access to Edinburgh trams which run from here to the city centre. The tram stop is located barely a minute's walk from the airport terminal, with trams running roughly every 7 minutes. Tickets must be purchased before boarding and cost a whopping £6.50. Needless to say, that's an absolute rip-off. Ticket in hand, it's time to board the tram. There's only one tram line in Edinburgh, so there's no need to worry about taking the wrong tram. Edinburgh's 8.7 mile long tram line opened in 2014 at a cost of £776 million. The tram ride into the city should take around 25 minutes, after which there'll just be a short walk to Edinburgh Castle to finish the race. there's our finish line in sight. Now I just got to get round there somehow. And that's the timer stopped. Okay. All I'm saying is, thank God I don't have any more hills to walk up today. I am exhausted, to say the least. So, let's get down to the numbers, shall we? So, just a reminder, the train did it in 5 hours, 24 minutes and 11 seconds to the nearest whole second. The plane, we did Houses of Parliament to Edinburgh Castle, which I don't know if you can see behind me. I cannot see the shot I'm filming at all. We did it in 5 hours, 10 minutes and 29 seconds to the nearest whole second. So that's only a difference of 15 minutes, which is, yeah, it's quite incredible really. And once you factor in all the hassle of going to the airport and being thrown through security and whatnot, and then all that faff at the other end, it's quite a testament to the train really. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this slightly different style of video. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you on Friday for the next video. Thanks for watching.